guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Because I Put Chips Back Neatly. I must be an employee, makes perfect sense, right? I'm at the local market, and am pushing a basket full of food. Like the indecisive person I am, I'm standing in front of the chips, trying to decide which ones to buy. I keep grabbing and putting back different kinds of chips, and I'm putting them back carefully, so I don't make a mess of the place. I used to work retail a long time ago, and hated it when people just stuffed things randomly back onto shelves. I finally found some that I'm happy with, Tostitos Lime. So I tossed them into my cart and started walking towards the registers so I can pay and go. I do faintly hear some lady behind me talking, but I figure she's on her phone and so I ignore it. Then a hand grabs my right shoulder and jerks it backwards. I slap the hand away and spin around to my right to see a lady with an angry red face who says, "Lady, didn't you hear me? Where are the Doritos?" Me. "Stop touching me. I don't work here, I don't know." Lady, pointing at my face. "Don't be lazy. I saw you putting the chips on the shelf. Get me Doritos." Me. "I don't work here, and you need glasses if you can't see the Doritos right next to you." I grab a bag of Doritos, and shove them in front of her face. She grabs them and puts them into her cart, and starts walking away and says, "Lady, was that so hard? Workers are so lazy these days." I just stood there for a minute, and then resumed my walk to the registers. I saw the lady checking out nearby, and quickly walked past her to the far end of the store to keep away from her. I got up to the last register, and lucky me the checkout clerk was actually an assistant manager, so I told him about the lady grabbing my shoulder, and pointed over to her. The manager looked over at the lady, and quietly said, "Again?" and asked me to wait a moment. After a minute another clerk came by and rang up the rest of my items. As I was walking out of the store, the assistant manager came up to me and told me that she's grabbed other customers before, and that he asked the lady to not come back without her daughter, who usually helps her shop. He thanked me for being patient, and gave me a coupon for a free box of cookies. Cookies don't really make up for a random old lady grabbing my shoulder, but that's the way to cookie bounces. The next story is titled Not the Cleaning Lady. Pretty short situations. Setup of the scene is longer than the interaction and not 100% certain this goes here, but here ya go. I'm a home healthcare aide whose main job is to cook, general cleaning, bathing, other personal care. I've learned over the years that a fair few clients don't have the cleaning supplies they need for me to clean, so I tend to carry around my own mop, bucket and cleaning rags to many of them. Today I had just finished with my last client, who lived in a 9-story apartment building, wearing nursing scrubs and carrying the mop handle, bucket. Notably missing the interchangeable mop head as I leave those at the different clients' houses, and just climbed out of the elevator on the ground floor, headed for the exit when I hear the two women I passed as they entered the elevator. Woman 1. Ew cockroach. Woman 2. Nah, I don't see anything. Woman 1. Right there, these lazy people can't do their jobs and keep this place clean. Woman 2. And there went the damn cleaning lady. At this point, I'm nearly to the side door leading to the parking lot and shout over my shoulder, "I don't work for this complex." Ended up closing the door on the second woman shouting about how I need to keep my pasty white ass out of other people's business. The next story is titled You Don't Work Here Lady. Couple short, but hopefully amusing, stories. Swung by a target on a lark one day, red button top crap, not a polo, and black pants, so I knew going in, probably gonna get mistake. And while I ran into a couple people who asked me where was X, maybe it was because I was walking with someone they thought I was busy or figured out I wasn't an employee. So it's not guarantee you get mistaken for one wearing a red shirt, but was definite a "when is it gonna happen" moment. On the flip side, I was in Target on another occasion when I and my traveling companion count find something, I think it was a bike, and saw a person in a red shirt. Knowing this sub I was hesitant, waited till they weren't busy and looked my way. Noticed no badge or embroidery of the store logo, so approached them cautiously. "I know you don't work here, but would you happen to know where X is?" As I suspected they didn't work there, we shared a laugh. The next story is titled I'm Not Your Uber Driver. It's pretty late at night and I came to a store with a friend. As I was parking by the sidewalk, Some guy up ahead with a baggage waved. My friend went inside to shop and the guy started walking towards me. He did this weird thing, almost like a lunge, I guess to peek at my plate. Anyway, he started screaming and it startled me. Some guy. What the hell, man? You parked so far. Your car is all wrong. You're losing stars for this. Me. I'm not a driver. Guy. Just open the trunk already. So I started repeating myself with a nervous laughter while this guy insisted I was lazy, hard to deal with and shouldn't be entitled because I was the one driving him around. Now he pretended to answer his phone, but you can see he has the app open in the map on his cheeks. The next story is entitled Mom Tells Me She Lives in My House After Refusing to Leave My Property. M equals entitled Mom CD equals Chill Dad LB equals Little Brat. So I live on a river and it's a very popular place during the summer. I have some riverfront property and my house looks onto the river across the street. I have always had problems with people littering and destroying my review front property, so I try to make it look secluded. But this made it worse. Usually I would just have to tell people that they are on private property and point at the several signs and they would leave. But some people are different. Well, today we had a different person. At around 12:45 I saw M and LB waltz right onto my property past the 2 no trespassing signs. At first I thought they didn't see the signs and so I went down to tell them how it's private property. TB72 Hey ma'am, could you please somewhere else to swim? M what? No, we got here first. TB72 that's not my problem. M well then leave us alone. TB72 but this is private property. M yeah I know points at the sign. TB72 so could you leave? Emma, no rolls eyes. TB72 but even you said it's private property. At this point I was getting really frustrated because she even admits that it was private property. But what she said next made me pissed. M yeah I own this property, can't you see my house? Pointing at my house. TB72 lady that's my house now leave before I call the police. I take a step closer hoping she'll back off. I couldn't be more wrong. M get away from my son you pedophile. I had no words for this and I called the police. The police show up and start talking to us. Po equals police officer. Po so what is the problem sir? M this man is trespassing and trying to molest my son. Po looks at me with that, sorry man, look and I reciprocate. TB72 look lady I have my keys on me so if you want to try to say that's your house we can test it out now. M that's stupid I don't need to prove anything. TB72 well I'll go show the police I live there. Me, Po and M with LB walk up to my house and I open the door with my key and unlock my car on the driveway. M tells the police officer I stole her keys and he tells her to leave. The next story is titled It Happened Again. This time at the grocery store. I'm the truck driver who posted a few months back, when a woman at a truck stop demanded I go clean the women's restroom, because I happened to be wearing a mask. Yesterday the following happened at the grocery store I regularly visit. Where are the canned peaches? I don't see any canned peaches. I wanted to buy some. Me, a customer at the store. The canned peaches are over here. I point to the canned peaches. They were about 12 feet down the aisle from where the loud mouth stood. Well, that's not where they are supposed to be. Me, a customer at the store. Look stupid, this isn't your home pantry. You want peaches? Here they are. I'm going to call the manager. Me, a customer at the store. Oh shut up you old shrew. The next story is titled I Don't Work for Google, Ma'am. Literally happened about 10 minutes ago. Not a super exciting story, but I thought someone might get a chuckle out of it. I work as a customer support phone agent for an app that handles a lot of financial information. Therefore we have a process whenever someone calls in to verify their identity before we can give them any information. A lady calls in, I give her my greeting spiel, and we go through the verification process without issue. Then we get to why she called in. She's having trouble logging onto the app. I assist with that and ask her if there's anything else she needs. Lady, can you upgrade my Google account? Me, I'm not sure what you mean. Lady, well that's why I was trying to log in the first place. I'm trying to upgrade my Google account. We are in no way connected to Google, apart from allowing people to use Google Pay within our app, so I'm not sure what her thought process was with that. Me, if you're having difficulty with your Google account, I would recommend calling Google support. Lady, now very irritated, so you can't help me? Me, No ma'am, I work for company. I can't assist you with accounts outside of our platform. Lady. You people make this so difficult. I give up. I'm not allowed to hang up on customers, so I got to hear her huff and complain to herself for several more minutes before she finally hung up. The next story is titled, I Don't Work Here Chicken Lady, Vegan Revealed During Medical Emergency Story. I'm at the supermarket browsing the wares near the end of an aisle. Round the corner I see a guy who looks a crusty punk type of fellow. He's shopping just the same as me, until bam, he goes straight down on the floor. I go over to him, he's sprawled on the floor. No movement, he looks unconscious. It seems to me he's having an epileptic fit or a seizure. I pull out my phone and dial 999 for the ambulance to come. Seconds later the shop staff run over. They know first aid. I offer them my phone so they can speak to the ambulance people since they know better about looking out for the guy. The shop worker is checking his breathing, pulse etc., and relaying that over on the phone. So, I'm hanging around, very concerned about the guy on the ground, and now just waiting patiently for my mobile to be returned. Suddenly I get a tug on my elbow. It's a woman, asking me about chicken. I'm like, what? Are there still chicken breasts there? She asks. I'm kind of overwhelmed by the situation, so I'm like, sorry, I can't check the shelves, there's someone on the floor has had a fit. The women are undeterred. She's like, yeah, but I really want some chicken. I'm like, sorry, I don't know if there is any chicken. She says, can you just go look for me? I say, sorry, no, I don't know where the chicken is, and I don't think anyone should be shopping in this area because there is a guy who had a fit and is lying on the floor. She's like, yeah, but why can't you just look for me, don't you know where the chicken is? I don't know why, but this is the point I lose my temper. I say loudly, no, I don't know where the chicken is because I am vegan. And at that moment everything stops. The guy who was talking to the emergency dispatcher has gone silent. He's staring at me. His colleagues who are kneeling on the floor around the guy are looking at me in disgust. Even Chicken Woman is silent. It occurs to me that my announcement might have been the last thing that the poor man having the seizure ever hears. Very quietly I ask, could I please have my phone back? He gives it to me, and I shuffle out of the shop in shame. I don't know what happened to the man, and I don't know if the woman ever got her chicken. Duck my life. The next story is titled Stopped by Customers at a Different Store Than My Job Because of My Uniform. In hopes of keeping my privacy, I will refer to my place of work as Blue Pet, BP, because it is a blue uniformed pet store. I would like to preface and mention I have been at my job at BP for just over 2 years now, and overall have been working since I could, and being in Canada at that young allowed age really only left me with retail, customer service jobs. I have worked in grocery stores, food, and restaurants. I now have at least 6+ years worth of customer service and retail experience. This plays into my story because never in those years has this ever happened to me. I am a part-time employee, but at this time I was working 30 to 40 hours a week because of new employees quitting or whatever, can't really remember now. Besides the point, my job came out with a rule that we must have transparent water bottles so they can clearly identify that we are drinking water. Because you know, how unethical it would be for me to be consuming a root beer float when assisting customers with animal care. I needed a transparent water bottle. On my way to work one day I stopped by a dollar store that is also located in the same strip of stores as my jobs. Most Canadians know that any dollar store, no matter the name, Dollar Tree, Dollarama, etc., all have green colors as their theme. They wear regular t-shirts, with a striking green apron. At BP, we wear a collared blue uniform shirt, with either black or khaki pants. On our shirt, we have our name tag, the logo of BP, and either BP pins from seniority or achievements or approved miscellaneous pins. I went in there, with my uniform on to quickly grab a cheap water bottle until I had the time to get a better one elsewhere. I forgot about the rule on the way to work, hence my rush. As I was trying to locate them, I was stopped by an older woman. Her. Excuse me, young lady. Me. Yes? Clearly not professional in tone, trying to be as fast as possible. Her. No need for the rudeness. Where is? Me. Ma'am, sorry, I do not work here, pointing at my logo on my uniform. Her. But you have a name tag. Oh well. I guess I will have to find another employee who actually wants to help me. I brush past her and find the water bottles, looking for one that didn't have some stupid stuff on it, just a plain one. Was stopped again, this time by a 30 to 40-year-old woman and her child, 12 to 13. I could tell that English was not their first language. Her. Ma'am, show birthday bag. I frequent this location so I know. Me. Back wall on that side, gestured to the very far wall as reference. She thanked me and then they were on their way. I finally grabbed one, was on my way up to pay and was stopped by the same older woman from before, this time with her husband who apparently saw me helping the woman and her child. They were scowling at me. Oh well. Don't care. Retail, customer service really runs down your care for people's upsetness, especially for such ridiculous reasons. I was stopped at least 2 other times other than these 2 incidents, within the same visit. I understand it is busy, but if someone is wearing a completely different uniform, did not even have the same style of shirt whatsoever, would that not give you a clue as to them not working there? Especially if I was shopping, and had my company's logo on it? It was beyond baffling. The next story is titled No, I Don't Work Here and That's Not My Manager. So to start, if y'all don't know, when you see someone working a kiosk in a store or mall, they don't, in most cases, work for that store. Usually, they are hired by a marketing company that is hired by the store specifically to sell whatever it is. In my case, credit cards for a hardware store. I won't say the name because I like being employed, but I live in Canada and that should give you all the info you need there. This is done because usually, this involves a pretty particular knowledge of a specific product as well as the ability to sell and meet quotas and stuff. So the long and short is I don't work for Canadian Hardware Store, CHS from now on. Now I help people as long as it does not get in the way of my work. If they need to know where something is, I'll tell them or look it up on their freely available public app. The unfortunate side of this is that because it's COVID times, there's usually a lack of staff, and if you answer one person's question it attracts like 4 other people with questions. One day I was working a later shift than usual and I was doing my thing and someone asked for directions for an item. I knew where it was off the top of my head so I answered. Meanwhile, an older gentleman that looked a bit run down was glaring at me. Now I paid no mind because I have a resting bitch face myself so I don't pay attention to foul looks alone. He, however, wasn't saying anything so I launched into my sales pitch for the card and then he started walking away, so I trailed off and stopped. When I stopped he stopped walking, spun on his heel and looked at me. The following conversation went as follows. Gent. What? Me. Oh, I'm sorry, I was giving you my sales pitch but you started walking away so I stopped. Gent. I need you to do your job and get this random hardware tool out of the case. Me. I'm sorry, I don't work for CHS. I don't have the keys if you find someone in a red shirt. Gent. You work for CHS. Me. I actually just work for the credit card place. I'm not a part of the CHS team. Gent. Give me your manager. Me. I'd have to call her personal phone, and as this is CHS business and not card company related, I will not be doing that. I'm sorry. Gent. You salesmen are so ducking annoying. Some of you will stalk me across the store every time I come in and ask me twice and won't leave me alone. Me, who has not left my kiosk because I am lazy and don't like wandering. I'm sorry to hear that. They shouldn't, our handbook and training says not to be aggressive and pushy, though I have seen some people be like that on my off time. I know how annoying it can be. Gent, clearly not knowing what to be angry about and clearly wanting a fight. You should be ashamed of yourself. Me. Blinking slowly, not sure how to respond. Gent. You're a panhandler. You're begging for money and taking advantage of poor people. I'm on welfare because this was supposed to be a full-time job and they have only been giving me 1 6-hour shift a week. You're worse than the bums on the street. Go ducking beg outside. Me. Knowing not to respond to this clearly alcoholic, poorly dressed, single, dude. Gent. I need you to get the tool out and then take me to your manager now. Me. As I said before, I don't work here, and if you find someone in a red shirt. Gent. Nobody ducking works here. Nobody works. Nobody works. Where are the staff? Me, sighing. I don't know, they're probably just busy. There are red staff call buttons everywhere around the store. If you press it, someone will come. Gent. I will find your manager and I will make sure that all of you vultures never work in any of these stores again. Obviously, nothing happened. Nobody said anything. Nobody talked to me about it. The staff never said anything, and my managers never said anything, and it is because I don't ducking work for the store and don't have the damn keys, jack off. Like I understand not knowing that originally, and I get why you may think that I would work there, but you would think the different outfit, the dedicated kiosk, the lanyard, and the fact that I told you thrice, would point out that I don't work here. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.